While working the night shift, an ambulance brought a comatose woman named Lola Garcia to the hospital for emergency treatment. Lola was bleeding heavily and needed immediate care. I called the emergency contact listed on her phone. The man who answered claimed to be her husband, and to my shock, it was my own husband. I had no choice but to perform a uterine curettage on Lola myself. When I heard the familiar voice on the phone, I hesitated while putting on my gloves. My first thought was whether there had been some mix-up. Doctor, why isn't my wife answering the phone? What happened to her? The man asked urgently. In a voice still recovering from a cold, I patiently explained that Lola needed emergency surgery and asked him to come to the hospital as soon as possible. Doctor, I'm overseas and can't come back. Please save my wife. She said she felt unwell after dinner. He pleaded, overseas? What a coincidence. My husband had flown abroad on a business trip just yesterday. Sir, please leave me your phone number so we can contact you after the operation, I said. The man on the other end didn't seem to recognize my voice and quickly provided his phone number. My heart sank when I heard it. It was my husband Ethan Lee's private number. Very few people knew about this phone number, at least not me. I only knew it because I have a photographic memory for numbers. I had seen it in his mobile app. The owner was listed as Ethan at the time. I assumed it was for work and thought nothing more of it. That was until Ethan ordered medicine and sex toys to our home, and the recipient's phone number was mistakenly left as his private one. Although the delivery man later took the items to the correct address, it revealed to me that Ethan was cheating. With a life at stake, I calmed myself and prepared for the operation. From Lola's heavy bleeding, it seemed she had taken several emergency contraceptive pills after becoming pregnant. Realizing something was wrong, Lola had called for an ambulance. The emergency nurse informed me that she had taken an emergency contraceptive pill. I calmly examined Lola, who was pale at the moment. The nurse brought me the blood test results. Her HCG level was as high as 10,000. I was right. It indicated she has been pregnant for 2 months, and it was pregnancy bleeding. After confirming an intrauterine pregnancy with a ultrasound, I performed a curettage to stop the bleeding. The child could not be saved in the ambulance. The emergency nurse had already administered a hemostatic agent, but Lola had gone into shock before reaching the hospital. Fortunately, as a gynecological expert, I was able to manage her situation effectively. The bleeding stopped, and Lola's breathing and pulse returned to normal, according to protocol. The nurse sent the intrauterine scrapings for pathological testing. After the operation, Lola was moved to the general ward. After the surgery, I took off my sterile gloves and washed my hands repeatedly. The nurse noticed my distress and asked, Catherine, are you feeling unwell? Only then did I realize my hands were red from being scrubbed so hard. Oh, it's nothing. I was lost in thought. I replied, even after spraying thick layers of disinfectant, I still felt as if my hands were covered in blood. I had some dark thoughts. If I hadn't been on duty tonight, would Lola have died? An operation that was easy for me might not be for others. Not everyone could act in the crucial moments needed to save a life. I seemed to have saved my husband's lover, but I had also killed his child with my own hands. Could this be the child Ethan had longed for? We had been married for many years without children, not for my lack of desire, but because Ethan insisted on being child-free. He kept telling me that he was a dink and that if I gave birth to a child, he would divorce me. He even underwent a vasectomy. He informed me afterward, holding my hand solemnly, Catherine, I only love you. I don't want a child to take away your love for me. Ethan, always overbearing, knew that if I, a dedicated and work-focused woman, had a child, my attention would be divided. At that time, he will indeed be left out in the cold. But when did he have a reversal surgery? Or could it be that Lola was pregnant with another man's child? I'm not the type to let my imagination run wild. All we need to do was conduct a paternity test using Ethan.
Search 113110. One novel short to read book for free.